I'm 31, and my wife is 29. A year ago, we had a baby. The delivery was difficult, and my wife developed postpartum depression. Initially, she planned to return to work after giving birth, but due to her condition, we decided to wait until our daughter turned one before reconsidering. She regularly sees a psychiatrist. Since my wife stays home all day, I had to take on more work. We discussed this in advance and agreed it was the best decision. A few weeks ago, my boss offered me a new project that required overtime. It was a great opportunity to earn more and advance my career. My wife supported me, and I accepted. While I worked on the project, her mother and her best friend, Jessie, were supposed to help with the tasks I usually handled. Jessie is a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids, aged 4 and 2. She started coming over during the day to help with the children. After 3 weeks, it became clear the project would take longer. That evening, I told my wife. She said it was fine, but in the following days, she grew distant. This had happened several times over the past few months, so I didn't think much of it. During the final week of the project, I came home one evening and saw Jessie was still there. I greeted them and went to check on my daughter. As I was heading to her room, I overheard Jessie say, "He doesn't even stop to talk to you. That's a sign." I turned and asked what she meant. My wife began to cry, and Jessie accused me of cheating. She claimed I must hate my wife because of her depression and weight gain after the pregnancy. None of this was true. I've been trying to support her and believe she looks beautiful just as she is. She hadn't been interested in intimacy, and I didn't push. Jessie demanded to see my phone. I refused, and she said that proved I was guilty. I told my wife she could check my phone if she wanted. She agreed, and at that moment, something broke inside me. It hurt that she believed I was having an affair and didn't trust me after everything we'd been through. My wife found nothing suspicious on my phone, but Jessie insisted I must have deleted the evidence. She started shouting and woke our daughter, so I told her to leave. After I put my daughter back to sleep, I tried talking to my wife. She admitted she'd been worried since I started working more. I reminded her that we had discussed this and agreed it was a good opportunity. She said the project extension made her suspicious. To reassure her, I showed her work emails, messages, and pay stubs showing my overtime. She apologized but confessed that Jessie kept telling her these were signs I was cheating. I asked why she trusted Jessie more than me, and why she hadn't come to me with her concerns. She had no answer. The project eventually ended, and I started spending more time with my family. However, I felt emotionally drained. I couldn't shake the feeling that my wife didn't trust me. I worry that any new work assignment will lead to the same accusations. I tried bringing this up with my wife, but she brushed it off, saying she was tired and sad. I try to be understanding, but I wonder, is there still room for my feelings in this family? A few days later, I told my wife I wanted to see a therapist. I didn't tie it to her accusations, just said I was struggling. She shrugged and said, "Do whatever you want." The next day, I came home to find our bedroom and my office ransacked, with papers scattered everywhere. My wife was gone, and our daughter was crying in her room. My wife had left her alone and turned off her phone. I called relatives and friends, but no one knew where she was. Worried, I asked my mom to watch our daughter while I searched for her. Before my mom arrived, my wife returned with Jessie. My wife walked in, crying, and started accusing me of cheating. I tried to calm her down, but she attacked me and broke my nose. Afterward, she collapsed onto the couch and stared blankly at the wall. I locked myself in my daughter's room and called my mom to explain the situation. I also called my mother-in-law to come and take care of my wife. I packed a bag for my daughter, and we left to stay with my parents. Now I'm considering a restraining order against Jessie. My wife and I decided to separate for a while. I hope she gets the treatment she needs, and we can rebuild our relationship. Her parents are looking into inpatient care. I documented everything in case of a custody battle. A few days later, my wife passed away after crashing her parents' car into a tree. Until the end, she believed I was having an affair. Now, I'm raising our daughter alone and trying to figure out what to do. Jessie wants to speak at my wife's funeral, but I'm against it. The thought of her standing there makes me feel sick. My in-laws insist she should speak, as she and my wife had been friends since childhood. I worry that refusing could harm my relationship with my in-laws. I don't know what to do. What would you advise?